This is episode 64, ABA.
Hello and welcome to another episode of SLP's Wine and Cheese. I'm Deb.
And I'm Maria.
And here's our podcast.
For the realistic SLP.
Welcome!
Here we are. I don't know why I'm singing. So today we're switching it up. We have water. With special water with grapefruit, cucumber, and mint. And we'll put that recipe on the Patreon if you're curious. And we have this rice cake with some avocado and hard-boiled egg on top with paprika. And Deb put some salt on it as well.
Yes, so, it was very good.
Should we do an eat it or beat it?
Okay, I vote eat it.
You definitely eat it because I already ate it. So, look at that irregular past tense there.
We can still vote drink it or sink it on the infused water.
Yes. I say drink it.
Yes.
But I have specific instructions. Don't swallow the mint leaves.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because mine were really stuck in my oropharynx. And I had to clear that, you know?
It is best with a straw, but those were in the dishwasher.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's we'll get dysphagia-esque-ish on this show.
Oh, boy.
Here's an example of when a straw is good.
Right.
Because you don't want mint leaves in your oropharynx.
Right. But you do want to have some flavored water sometimes.
Of course.
We were talking about how earlier, just sick of plain water at this point. Yeah.
I've been doing lime. I like lime, but you like, went extra with it.
Got to mix it up. I also read something, and I don't have a source, so don't even quote me on this. But it's like drinks that have a little bit of sugar in it hydrate you better and faster than just plain water because of some reason, like that has to do with electrolytes. So it's like not like you should have high sugary drinks, but at the same time, it's going to hydrate you better and faster. And I could look that up for the show notes.
Okay. I think that with the word sugar, I think they probably mean like a simple sugar, like a fruit or a lemon or a lime, not like, oh, let me just start pouring some high fructose corn syrup in my water.
Yeah, no, not that.
We're just specifying.
I was thinking before we get into today's topic, we have a big announcement.
Oh, we do?
We are going to be at ASHA with a member table.
Yes.
Yeah.
Woo.
Woohoo. Year 2.
Here, let's get a water cheers to that. Cheers.
All right,
some of this.
We are going to be member table 896.
896.
Yes.
896.
That's right.
Yes.
Last year we were 872. So we're kind of similar, but now we're 896.
So we're further in the back?
I guess so, but I'm confident people will find us.
I think we're probably further up front because we were at the end last. Like we were like.
I know, but it's a different convention center, so it could have a different setup.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Right. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. But we are
flexibility.
Table 896, and come see us. We're going to have T-shirts, magnets, and then we're thinking about other things like glasses and koozies and corks. We don't really know yet, so stay tuned to hear more about that, and we'll post about it on Instagram. We're thinking about having you guys vote on the things that you think we should sell at our table.
I like this idea. Yeah, it's like what the people want.
Yeah, tell us what you want.
Give the people
what you
really,
really want.
So, tell you what I want. You know,
I wanna get on with this episode.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, no, but yeah, that would be really cool if you guys could write to us and let us know what kind of products you'd like us to have at our table. And what else, Maria?
Well, we have a lovely interview with one.
A lovely one.
It is. They're all lovely.
Yes,
but we have a lovely interview on the show, so just wait for that.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that. And today we want to talk about applied behavioral analysis. So we're going to hop right in there. Deb has a statement put out by the lovely, again, I will work on that.
The fantastic,
the fantabulous ASHA.
Yeah.
So ASHA has a statement about applied behavioral analysis.
Okay, so applied behavior analysis has has been defined as the systematic application and evaluation of principles of behavior analysis to the improvement of specific behaviors.
Yes.
The terms and principles of behavior management most often used in ABA include learning, stimuli, responses, consequences, positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, punishment, and extinction. The techniques used in ABA include prompting, cueing, modeling, chaining, differential reinforcement, and fading. The bottom line is that applied behavior analysis, or ABA, is a set of procedures drawn from the discipline of behavior analysis that allows for the understanding of reasons that certain behaviors may occur. As part of the interdisciplinary practice, SLPs may find applications of ABA techniques within the natural training context to be effective complements to their own communication interventions. So it's basically saying that SLPs can use this to complement SLP goals and strategies. One more thing is SLPs using more traditional applications of ABA must consider common training practices to avoid problems with prompt dependency and generalization. For example, also, many practitioners have reported difficulty training more fluid targets such as communication. This is what we have here. So just to cover that to begin with.
That's good.
Okay.
I like that. Are you finished with the ASHA statement?
There's a little more, but I think I said enough.
I think you did say enough,
yeah,
actually, there.
We get it, right?
Totally get it.
Yeah.
I also have a slight little, what's it called? Definition, because I know you like definitions.
Love them.
From Psychology Today, which was similar to what you just said about ABA teaches specific behaviors, such as social skills, communication, hygiene, grooming, academic skills. So really, like, anything, I think, in my eyes, anything that the client or the student needs to work on, you can really like use ABA to teach it to them. That's how I look at it. And then they said, according to Psychology Today, most successful plus for over 20 hours a week before the age of 4. And I have seen this firsthand. When I worked early intervention, I worked a lot with the ABA instructors, and we had like meetings, and they were asking me my opinion about like certain programs that they should put in. They also have like an oral motor program, which I was like, well, I had to say my little speech, like, oral motor is not good, because the ABA instructor was like, yeah, and that'll help with speech, right? And I'm just like, well, hold it there.
Well, maybe in some capacities.
Yes, I didn't even say that. I was like, well, the research has shown it really doesn't. But you are teaching them to attend to you. You are teaching them to like follow instructions with using like their mouth, which is like technically like a small movement.
Right.
Which, listen, if they do well with it, let's add speech sounds. So then usually
add speech sounds.
Yeah, so they did. They have added speech sounds, and they they
I
really
love
listen
doing
to me.
like using a chewy tube and going like because I'm like, oh, listen to how that's different when we close our mouth.
Oh,
it
okay.
changes the sound. Instead, I have a kid that's just like, I'll go home.
Oh, right.
Everything is just open. So I'm like
Mm.
giving him something. I'm like, bite down. Look at the difference.
Yeah. It's definitely best to use it in words, but listen, I'm not going to tell them how to do the program. I'm not going to be like, no, you can't. I'm just like, listen, this is what it is, but if you want to work on like oral motor program, fine, put one in, but I'm just going to tell you my opinion. Make sure we have a lot of like speech sound programs too. And we did, and the kid made a lot of progress. So I'm like, hey,
whatever, something happened.
Something happened. So,
Yeah.
So, we're good. We're on the same page here. So in terms of ABA, do you feel like you've used it before?
No.
Or have you mostly seen it? Okay.
I've seen it, and I have not used it.
Okay. I've used it a lot, and I still use it, so I guess I'll talk about that.
Yeah, I'll just listen.
So, yeah, you just listen.
Okay.
So, my grad school internship was at a special needs school, and they really used ABA. Like everyone, the classrooms were set up like ABA classrooms, the speech therapy sessions, everything. So I learned a lot about ABA. And I did like it, and there were some other things I didn't like. So I'm going to talk about what I did like first.
Okay.
So I like that it's very, I like that you have to take data.
Yep.
So I think it helped me because I think I'm pretty good at taking data, and you take data pretty much like every day. There.
I do. I thought
but
you were
it's
talking
not
about me.
as like complicated as like a WH questions. Let's find the details, and there's like 3 kids in the group. It's really one-on-one, and the data was a lot of like receptive and expressive identification. I remember that a lot. So like you present, let's say, pictures in a field of 3, and it's like, oh, touch fireman if you want to work on like people, and then did they touch fireman? Yes, plus. They didn't, negative. If they get a negative as the first trial, like you have to teach firemen. Like we can't move on to teaching like 80 other or 10 other community workers if we don't get touch firemen on trial 1. So I like that. It really shows like they have like teaching trials. So like, all right, so then you're going to mix up the cards again and be like touch firemen. They don't get it. You teach them firemen, and you keep doing it 10 times or 5 till they really do realize like, oh, this is the fireman, and you don't move on until they get that. And I do like that. I think that makes sense.
Yeah. I also like that ABA is systematic the way you're explaining it, because speech pathology is not at all. It's way more like
well, it should be, but
like, well, it is. I mean, it's not like I'm not saying like
it's not
it really
as
isn't,
it's
though.
not
There
as
is no
systematic
menu.
as that. Like you can't move him on to introduce. Let's say you're doing. Let's stick with the same example. Let's stick with you're doing community workers. You pick 3 or 4. You pick fireman, teacher, and police officer. So you present it, let's say, in a field of 3, and there's like just basil flying everywhere right now.
This is mint, but you're throwing it all over the
place. At least
place.
it's not in my oropharynx. I'm happy it's on our keyboard and not in my throat.
Okay.
So I know. Who isn't?
I don't know.
Exactly. But you're not going to move on and teach other ones if they can't identify a fireman in a field of 3. And if they still can't, then you got to do a field of 1 where it's just like touch fireman, and they touch fireman, and then like
you just say it over and over
still
again.
have to teach
What
that.
if they're not touching it? You do hand over hand.
Hand over hand, or that's probably not even a good goal then. Like honestly, if you I think if you have to do that much prompting, like okay, maybe they should just like. Maybe you should move on to like actual objects. Maybe touch the apple.
Apple is a good go-to. Everyone knows apple.
Exactly. So I did like that. But we did like a lot of receptive, and then you do the expressive. Who's this? Fire. So you do those programs. That was a big program we did. I felt like that's what I took away from that. They did a lot of sorting, which I thought was good. Like how do you sort fruits versus vegetables?
Well, you and I had a hard time with that earlier.
We did.
Yeah, because fruits, we didn't look this up, but I was just in science class with 3rd graders, and they were learning about this. And fruits have seeds. And
but so do eggplants.
So maybe eggplant is a fruit.
Wow, that's interesting.
And also so do cucumbers.
Right. Cucumber, that one I could believe more as a fruit, but eggplant, I guess.
And then, because like carrots don't.
And carrots don't.
Celery doesn't.
Cabbage.
All of those grow. Wait, does celery grow under the ground?
I think it's above the ground.
Oh, it is above. Onions are under. Potatoes are under. So then
they don't have seeds. So maybe an eggplant is a fruit.
Yeah. Who knows?
All right. That's that. But any categories are good.
Right.
So you could sort.
Just avoid fruit and vegetables because we don't know either.
Right. Those are hard ones. Yeah, exactly.
Or like just, go with it. Don't be so technical.
Right. Yes.
Or make sure you choose vegetables that definitely don't have seeds, and you choose fruits that definitely do have seeds.
Right.
So there is no anything that you're not unsure of.
And that is like the negative part or the con, you could say, about ABA, and it is similar to what ASHA said, is the generalization is a little bit hard.
Right.
So like let's say you did fruits and vegetables as sorting.
I'm going to Google this.
Yeah, go for that. Fruits and vegetables as sorting. When they get a new fruit and a new vegetable that you have not taught, are they able to apply it? So I think in terms of like in my speech goggles, I'll say you should teach what makes a fruit a fruit. like seeds and all that, and then what makes a vegetable that.
Oh, here we go.
And
go
ahead.
Botanically speaking, a fruit is a seed-bearing structure that develops from the ovary of a flowering plant, whereas vegetables are all other plant parts, such as roots, leaves, and stems. This includes such botanical fruits as eggplants, bell peppers, and tomatoes.
See,
those are fruits.
They are fruits.
That. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So a vegetable is either a root, a stem, or a leaf.
See, that is, let's say I was doing sorting, I would want to do that lesson first.
Yeah.
And I didn't really see much of that when I was in that ABA school.
Well,
and
maybe
I wish
for a higher level kid.
Right.
If I was working with somebody, it was like initially, I'm doing like apple, orange.
Yes.
And maybe kiwi if I wanted to get spicy. And then like carrot, lettuce, and celery.
Eggplant? No.
No. Also, it's like ones that they see. Carrots and lettuce, and what's a vegetable that kids,
broccoli.
Broccoli, yeah. Everyone knows broccoli. Good.
Yeah.
So just stick to those 6 at first.
Right. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. But also, like, again, with the cons part, I remember when I was doing, like, the ABA style, my internship, we would do, like, what do you say when someone sneezes? And they just kind of, like, memorize to be like, bless you, or, like, something.
But what do you say?
Right. I don't. Bless you.
Gesundheit.
I don't know. The
bless you.
The target behavior is actually, okay, so you have the specific question. You have to always ask it this way. What do you say when someone sneezes? And their target response is, bless you. I know that's like controversial, but that's what they wanted them to say.
But that's what they wanted. Okay.
I didn't make these programs.
Not God bless you.
Not God bless you. I don't remember.
But like you can just bless people.
Right. Yeah, you could just bless people.
Okay.
And then before I started the program, I was like doing something with the client. I don't remember. And I was like, oh, what if I pretend sneeze? And I was like, achoo. And she didn't say anything to me.
Uh-huh.
But when I do the program, like, what do you say when someone sneezes? She knew to be like, bless you. But she didn't apply it to a real sneeze.
What
so
if,
that's
and
the
you
problem.
weren't allowed to change that question?
I wasn't.
You couldn't be like, achoo. What do you say if
somebody
sneezes? Achoo.
That would be a better program, actually.
And then they were like, God bless you. They were like, bless you. And then you're like, yeah, achoo. Tell me.
Yeah.
Bless you.
You know what? That would definitely be a better program.
That's speech pathology.
That is.
You just said ABA. I just said speech pathology.
Well, I was also a grad intern. It was my first internship at a clinic. Right when we met. Right when we met.
Exactly.
You know what?
Yeah.
I was very green.
I'm not criticizing.
No,
I'm just saying, like, that's a difference that I just noticed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that could be a great way, I think, to combine with speech with ABA.
And then when they do it, you're like, what did you say? And then they're like, bless you.
And then you could just on your notepad, which is all graph paper, you give them a plus.
Right.
And then you could. Mm-hmm. But I think it would be better, like, if you were taking data on that, like, play a game, like, do a puzzle, you know what I mean, color, and then be like, achoo, and then see if they say it, and then plus or minus. Because they're kind of like a lot of drills.
But then what is the functional...
Social skills. I'm sure they're working on social skills.
Wait, what was P.T. Morgan's question?
Speechy Morgan's? Oh, what is the functional her quote? Yeah. What is the I guess socializing when someone sneezes, having that awareness. I know. I think greeting is more important at first.
Yeah. Well, sneezes, they happen all the time.
They do have and 5 times in a row, like
I know. It's like, okay, settle down now.
Yeah. I said it once and that's enough.
I'm not just going to keep blessing you over here.
Yeah. Do I
who do I look like to you?
Giving out blessings
yeah. Well, you know what? Bless everyone.
It's like
Oprah.
Like glitter. Just throw it everywhere.
Yeah.
Just
Well, I have that power. Might as well.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But, that's my opinion about ABA. And then, of course, the most obvious one is PECS, how I use Picture Exchange Communication System, which maybe we should have a whole separate episode about PECS. But PECS comes from ABA, and it's very systematic, very taking that data. Mm-hmm. What are they motivated by? ABA is very big with that too.
Right.
Finding that motivator.
Yes.
And having the child pick it. Oh my God, it's a pet peeve of mine.
Right.
The child's going to pick what's motivating to them.
Right.
Not you.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, not you.
Yes. Not about you.
Yeah. No.
Anyway. That's my stuff. Do you feel like you've learned a little bit about ABA?
Sure. I like.
Okay. When you say sure, it makes me feel like you did it.
No, I did.
Okay.
I like that. Like, don't move past firemen until fireman is
mastered.
Yeah.
You would do fireman, and then you would do policeman, and then you discriminate. Touch fireman, switch it up.
Now, what if in
touch
your
policeman?
Uh-huh.
Then they have to master discrimination. Then you introduce a new community worker.
Now, what if the parent had informed you, like, this kid loves firemen? Would you incorporate that, or would you be like, well, we're going to not use that?
Me personally, or like, what would the ABA person say?
The ABA person.
It depends on the ABA person, but the people I've met are all about the child's motivators and strengths. So they would probably say yes.
Okay. So like, would that be in the first round? Because we're pretty sure that we're going to know firemen.
You know what? Yeah. Then they'll nail that. They'll master that step in a week.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Touch fireman. Touch fireman.
Got it.
Good.
Okay.
The next 3 sessions, it's mastered. Now let's introduce a new one.
Okay.
Like, at least the kid has learned.
Right, so then they get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you would put firemen with like maybe two other pictures. Mm-hmm. Can they find the fireman in a field of 3?
Right.
And don't do a field of 2. I posted about this on my gram.
Right, yeah.
Field of 2 is a 50-50 shot.
Right. So no data really there.
Right. Mm-hmm. You're leaving it up to chance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then also you have to pay attention. Like, is this kid constantly choosing the one on the right?
Yes. Right.
Even if you're in a field of 3, and if you just they're always picking the one on the right, then it's like
you could mix up the cards. They're big with that.
But then if it's still always the one on the right.
Oh, then it's like, whoa, what's going on the visual left side?
Yeah.
Let's
we have like left side neglect or something like that.
Exactly.
Or we're just not attending and we're like, they want me to touch something.
Yeah, right. Yes, exactly. And you switch it up. And, and you keep asking it, like pick the fireman. Or if you're in the discrimination phase, you're like, pick the police officer. Switch it up. Pick the fireman.
So maybe you should get the SLP award for knowing the most ABA techniques.
Oh, I would love that award.
The ABA SLP award at slpawards.us.
By Eric Raj. He is such a great man, great SLP, and he started this website.
Yes.
And it's a great gift to give to your fellow SLPs, and I think, Deb, you should give me that gift.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll recommend. I wonder if there's one that you can choose what it says, but if I can't find it, then Maria, I'm gonna send you most awesomest SLP award.
Thank you. I'll take it.
Because here you are, just like grabbing knowledge, using it all the time from all these different places.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And luckily enough, as our listeners, you can get free shipping with the code wine and cheese, all caps, all one word.
Yes. This episode of SLP's Wine and Cheese is brought to you by SLP Toolkit. Hey everyone, this is Deb, and I'm here with Sarah and Lisa of SLP Toolkit, breaking down 10 reasons why you need Toolkit in your SLP life. Here we are with reason number 9. You will have quick access to important information such as date of birth, grade of each client, teacher's name, and important dates.
So how did you guys get that information before, Sarah and Deb? I'm curious. I had a crap ton of manila folders.
Yeah, I probably had multiple Google Docs, like a Google Doc that had just like vital information, a Google Doc that had goals, a Google Doc that had all dates. Now it's all in one spot.
Love it.
I know. And I think that was the one kind of area where we weren't sure if it's a feature somebody needs, because people tend to have their own IEP software that has most of that demographic kind of information in there. But I think it's the way that it's displayed is what makes it unique to what SLPs actually need to see on a daily basis. And the coolest part is you can sort by each of those fields. So if you want to look at by all your students by last name, and then one day you need to look at them all by their teacher, or you need to look at them all by their upcoming IEP date, to be scheduling meetings for the future is what really makes that caseload feature like one of the coolest parts.
Yeah, it actually saves my life because I never had a system before. So if you're ready to sign up for free, you can go to slptoolkit.com. And then when you're ready to subscribe, use the promo code wine and cheese, all lowercase letters, to get $24 off the annual cost of Toolkit or your first month for free. And now an interview with Maria and Nora.
Hi, everyone. So I'm sitting here with Nora. She's one of my fellow coworkers, and she has been very nice enough to dedicate some time to me to sit down and talk with me. So welcome, Nora, to our show.
Hello, thank you.
So Nora, go ahead.
Oh, I just saying, glad to be here.
Well, thank you for inviting me over your house, and you have such a wonderful home.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes. So Nora works as a paraprofessional in the public school system, and she has extensive knowledge in ABA, which stands for Applied Behavioral Analysis. She's currently receiving her master's in special ed, and she's a full-time mom, full-time student, and works full-time.
That's right.
I'm out of breath just saying all of it.
It's exhausting.
I don't know how you do it all.
A lot of help.
Good.
A lot of help. It takes an army.
Right.
Can't do it without my husband, my mom, my sister, friends, a lot of support around.
That's good. You're lucky to have that. So we're recording this for my podcast, mine and Deb's. So do you know what a podcast is?
I do and I don't.
Uh-huh.
My husband tries to force me to listen to them. Not even watch them. Listen to them.
Listen to them.
Just, there's no time.
I know.
There's no time.
I'm gonna help you to make time to listen to them.
Well, now I'm going to have to listen since I'm on it.
Exactly. Look at me, just opening up your doors to podcasts. All right. So I wanted to hear a little bit about your background with ABA. So how did you get trained in it, and how long?
Well, back in 1999.
1999. All right.
A long time ago. Just said my age, huh?
No, we didn't say anything. We just said in 1999.
I worked for an early intervention school for autistic children. So that's 18 months to 3 years old. And I started working there as an ABA assistant. So I worked underneath the teacher. I was trained by the school. So my training was in-house. I didn't get trained outside or any other kind of workshop. So I did the ABA the way they wanted it. There's all different ways of doing ABA. So I started there as an assistant, and then I moved up to head assistant, and I then started training other therapists to do ABA, home therapists, speech therapists.
Oh, wow.
So I trained them inside our center to go out into the home, and then I came to the Board of Ed.
Wow.
After 15 years of being there.
Wow, so you were there for 15 years.
Yeah, on and off for 15 years. So I had 2 children in between that time.
Nice.
So I took a little break in between.
So when you trained the speech therapist, I'm just curious, being a speech therapist, what types of things would you train them on?
Well, obviously, a speech therapist has to do their speech therapy,
Yes.
but we suggest to the speech therapist to try to generalize what we're doing on the special ed side of the ABA, their programs, to utilize it into their therapy. So if you're teaching the child to identify words, like we'll do receptive programs, receptive ID programs, speech therapists will focus on those programs that are, collaborate with speech.
Right.
So we'll teach them sounds through ABA, like ba, through the ABA programs. And we just train the speech therapists to use our data and, the proper way to utilize our
methodology.
Yes, good one.
Gotcha. It's a good word.
Our
to
language,
just use.
it's like ABA is like learning a whole nother language. It's like we use this very limited language when we're talking and we're doing the program. So we train our therapists to use that type of language with the kids while they're doing their therapy.
Is that like keeping your instructions like short and concise?
Yes.
Like quiet hands?
Right. Like limited. We didn't use quiet hands. We use sit quiet.
Sit quiet. Okay.
We use very direct directions. So it's like sit down. I'm not going to say, Maria, sit down in the chair. It's sit down.
Okay.
Very simple directions for them to learn. And then eventually, we generalize the direction over into, a natural setting, because they're not going to constantly be in a cubby one-to-one for the rest of their lives. You have to generalize the skills over.
Yes. And you were telling me earlier another time, because Nora and I work together, and she does give me a lot of ABA knowledge that I really like, and I feel like it makes such a big difference.
It helps.
And you were saying like you like ABA more, or you really see it in the younger students and then when they get older. So like, what do you think
My
about that?
experience with ABA is more with the younger kids, 18 months to 3 years old. When I came to the Board of Ed, yes, we do use ABA here. The classrooms that I was in were higher functioning children, so we didn't need the ABA. But this year I've been doing it with one student. Yes, you could see progress. I think you see more progress when they're younger because as a younger child, they're like a sponge. They absorb a lot more. As they get older, it's harder to teach, new skills as you get older. Just like you try to ask your mom to do something different than she's been usually doing.
Oh, no.
You can't.
You can't. I agree with that one.
It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. I think as they get older, it's a little harder.
But still possible.
But still 100% possible.
But it's going to take maybe a little extra.
It might take a little time.
Right. So I like to use token boards and the visual schedules and speech. That's how I feel like I incorporate. Well, that's more like a behavioral approach, right? Not technically ABA.
Right. We use the token boards during our ABA sessions as a reward system for them.
Yes.
ABA is, give them the direction, reinforce them, and then they get what they want.
Right.
So for a child that can, a higher functioning child that could respond after 5 trials, you don't need to give that chip or that toy after every trial. You could wait 5 trials and then, have them earn that little reinforcer, that star or that token or whatever, work on 5 tokens and give them that big, reward at the end, toy or 2, a minute on the iPad or whatever they're working for. They have to you have to show them what they're working for first, and then they, receive those. Right. They have to work to it. So token boards I think are a good tool to use during your ABA sessions for the higher functioning children. And speech. Yeah. I think, listen, I use token boards for my daughter, my own children at home. I told you we use them for potty training, toilet training, and things like that at home. I use them a lot with my kids. I use my ABA skills over into my house. And it works. It works. So I toilet trained my daughter with token boards.
Yeah, you toilet trained your daughter by 18 months, right? Yes. Tell us about that.
My goal was, because I was very privileged to be able to stay home with my daughter. So my goal was to get her trained by 2 years old. And I stood home for a week. I set up a token board. It was the Dora house, and she earned Dora's face every time she went on the toilet. And then she got M&Ms at the end because she loved M&Ms, and it was the best thing she ever had. So I saved those M&Ms just for toilet training. She didn't get M&Ms every day. She didn't get them just to watch TV. She got them just when she peed on the toilet.
Got it.
And she received her tokens, and that's how 7 days in the house, no diapers, no pull-ups. I don't like the pull-ups. I think they're a waste of money.
Nice.
I did use them when I left the house.
Okay.
You have to. But after I felt like she's fully trained, we was able to leave the house with no diapers on.
And just regular underwear?
Just
big girl
underwear. That's it.
Wow.
At night, it took a little longer than daytime, because you don't want to be woken up in the middle of the night because they peed the bed. So you throw a diaper on them at night.
Not a pull-up.
Either one. They have nighttime ones. They have, they have all different kinds. But I waited until I was sure that she wasn't wetting the pull-up at night before I could remove the pull-up. But I didn't give her anything to drink prior to bed.
Nice.
For a little bit.
These are great tips.
Well, it's trial and error. That worked for her. It might not work for another kid. Every kid is individualized. So you can't, just with ABA, the programs are just set up for that one child. I'm not going to use, John's programs with Bob's programs.
Right.
It's not the same. They might have the same name, but you can't do it the same way. They're not going to be taught the same way. So this worked for my daughter. My son, on the other hand, was different. It took him a lot longer. My daughter trained by 2, him trained by 3. So a lot different,
Still good, though.
Still great, but different.
I like that with your daughter you used something that was highly reinforcing, like the M&Ms, and you saved the M&Ms
you
for
can't
potty
give
training.
you can't give them that big reinforcer all the time, because then they're like, why am I going to work for that or do anything for that if she's just going to give it to me whenever I want it?
Right.
So you have to save that big item for that, for that big thing you're trying to teach them.
That's a great tip. I feel like I need to let that soak in. Just letting that soak in. So, and then you also use Dora because she really liked Dora.
Yes.
So you use like 2 things she really liked.
Right.
I think that's...
I made it, you have to make it fun. You have to make it a positive, place. So if you bring it negative stuff going on, it's not going to work.
I'm all about that.
Yeah,
the
positive out in the universe.
Right. See, Nora
Put it
knows.
out there.
Nora hangs out with me, maybe too much, and she knows.
Never.
Aw, that's nice of you. So your son, on the other hand, though, you said he was pooping, though, by 15 months on the toilet. This was a fun little mom tip.
Well, he had
a mom tip
tummy
right here.
problems, and he had trouble pooping. Is that appropriate to say?
Yeah, pooping.
And my mother told me, put him on the toilet. He was 15 months. I was like, Ma, you're crazy. He's never going to sit on the toilet and poop. She goes, I promise you. Put him on the toilet without any potty seat, none of those seats on top. You got to have his butt hang down in the toilet.
Was he like practically touching the water?
Pretty much.
All right.
And he pooped. And he felt good. So he was trained to poop on the toilet before he was trained to pee on the toilet.
That was the biggest reinforcement, right? Him pooping and feeling better.
Yes,
That
it was tough for him. I felt bad for him. We spent a long time in the bathroom, but my mom said, put him on the toilet.
Put him in a bathroom. That's what I say.
Yeah, put him in the bathroom.
I always think of that. So anyway, fast forward now, you're working in the public school system as a paraprofessional, right?
Yes.
So your experience working in the ABA school, really, you apply it to currently.
Of course.
Where you are.
All your experience, you just apply to the next, as long as you're staying in the same field. But you can just apply it to your next job.
That's great that you've applied it. So as a paraprofessional, what do you feel like is the most rewarding part of the job?
Well, when I was in working with the younger kids and they left us at 3 years old, I always wondered what was next.
Yes.
What happened to them after they walked out of our doors at 3 years old? And I always was, I see them now and I'm like, oh my God, they got so big. How are they doing? So now being in the public school system and seeing the next level, that's rewarding to see where they came from and now where they are. So I like to see what they're doing and how they're doing after they leave me.
Absolutely.
So I enjoy the public school system. I think it's beneficial for the kids, especially, District 75 program we're in, and just the collaboration with the teams here. Between the service providers, speech therapists, the whole team, everybody, it's one. That's how it works. You have to be on the same team.
Absolutely.
To make any kind of progress with the kids.
That's true. And anything like, let's say I'm working on, I'll tell the teacher, I'll tell the paras, and you guys will work on it in class.
Yes. You have to carry over whatever you're doing in your speech room. You have to carry over into the classroom, because that's how you reinforce what you guys are doing. You're working so hard every day with them to, teach them a skill.
Right.
They just can't know that you only do it in speech. Yeah. You have to do it in the classroom. You have to do it in the lunchroom, wherever, the bathroom, wherever you are. You have to use
communicate.
Your language. Yes, you have to communicate.
Exactly. I love that. This is why you're the best.
Come on now.
Yes. So Nora's is an excellent paraprofessional. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
And then on top of that, let's also go into how you're in school right now getting your master's in special education.
Yes, I am.
So you're almost done with the program?
I am halfway through. I should be done by January of 2020.
Okay.
As long as all the cards fall into place.
They will. And what guided your decision to go back to school again?
Well, I wanted to pursue, I want to be a teacher. I want to, go to the next level. I love being a para, but I would, I want to further my education. Yes, and keep learning. I just had some guidance actually from here, from another para that she was going through the program, and UFT offered, a master's program through Toro that helped a lot. So they gave me they didn't give me, they paid for a portion of my master's, 6 classes.
That's
I
excellent.
paid a portion, and now I'm matriculated into Toro.
That's great.
So they really guide you in the right direction.
Yeah. So at that point, you're like, gotta go for this.
And, I just want to be a good role model for my kids,
That's so nice. So, look at that. It's like everything's connected.
It's all connected.
Like your ABA, your job, and your sister also works for the same school system as you.
Yes, my whole family's in the school system.
Your mom too, right?
My mom just retired as parent coordinator.
Kudos
at
to
37,
your mom.
And my older sister is out in Long Island in it's like a District 75 school. So she's special ed teacher in Long Island, so Suffolk County.
3 sisters.
There's 3 of us total.
You're the Nora.
I'm the middle.
You're the middle.
Yes.
You're the middle child. And all 3 of you are you soon will be all special ed teachers.
Yes.
So you come from a family that's special ed.
Yes.
Of educators.
Yeah.
What are your family dinners like? I mean, I know I'm in your house now, but I just saw your husband and he's hanging out with the kids. And, I want to see, hopefully you can invite your sisters over one day. I want to be there.
There's a lot of school talk.
Okay. Interesting.
There's a lot of school talk. We talk, but then there's sometimes we turn it off and we just, gossip.
Right. Like sisters do.
Sister talk.
Sister talk. I like it. All right. How do you feel about eventually when you're going to become a teacher and your responsibilities are going to change?
I think I'm going to miss, because I think as a teacher, you're more paperwork, less hands-on. You're not less hands-on, but there is times where you have to get those IEPs done and you have to do, the appropriate paperwork for the kids' lesson plans. So those couple of periods you have with the kids, you have to be a little bit more hands-on. You have to just try to figure out balance, you know? And utilize your powers in the classroom, and I have a good teacher this year that really, we're a good team. So she treats us all on the same level. So we're all teachers. There's not teacher para, there's not a divider in the classroom. We're on one page, all of us.
Right.
So I think I'm going to miss the more of the hands-on. Yes, we do the paras, we do more of the toilet training and the, things like that, the messy work, I guess you can call it the cleanup. Right. But we're a little bit more hands-on because we're one-to-one paras, especially the one-to-one paras have to be a little bit more hands-on than the teacher does, because they have to teach and they have to have control of,
the whole
6 to 12 kids, that we have here, plus all the adults in the classroom. So it's a lot
It is a lot.
It's a lot on the teacher.
I agree. I want to get actually your sister on the show. I'm kind of like, I should have thought of you to invite her over too. Your sister teaches social skills, so I would love to, or maybe you could just invite her over.
And we'll just trick her on to being on.
Yeah, well, this time I'll bring more wine. I suggested to bring wine, but, it's late for you now and bedtime. Yeah. So
it takes me 6 days to recover.
Right. We'll just blame it on the kids.
Well.
I also wanted to mention that as a mom, you didn't know what Uber was earlier in the year. And me and Nora took an Uber together, and it was so fun.
It was the funniest thing, and she had to videotape it, so we have a memory for the rest of my life.
Yes, of Nora. Like, I'm in an Uber.
Never been in an Uber before. What's so bad?
She's like, I'm a mom. I don't do Uber.
We don't Uber. We drive.
You are
the
seats. You are the Uber.
I am the Uber.
Right.
I just don't get paid for it.
Right.
There's no app for me.
No, there's not.
Nope.
It's just mom.
Just mom.
Pick me up.
That's
and drop me off.
Yeah.
Do your kids do after school activities too?
They do. Their school is big on activities, and they play football. So.
Oh gosh. Wait, your daughter too?
Yes.
Your daughter plays football?
She plays flag football. Yeah.
I didn't. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's the quarterback.
That's so cool.
Yes, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see. She's good. She's really good. She's doing 2 clinics this summer, so she's really into it. Like football clinics. Yeah. Camps.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. Cool. And your son does it as well?
He just started this year. It's his first year, but he does football, swimming lessons,
all that stuff.
Got to keep them active.
right?
They have to be active. That's it.
Because they have to be keeping busy and
Of
socializing,
course.
right?
Yes.
All the positives.
All the positive things.
Wow. Okay. So I forgot to include that under like mom description, right? Because you're driving around doing that stuff too.
Thank God my husband comes home and he takes over, because I'm in school. So right now I'm in school 4 nights a week. Mm-hmm. So it's like tag team, high five, you're it,
right.
kind of thing. I start dinner, he finishes dinner, he does baths, and I come home.
Yeah, and you're
kiss goodnight.
Right, doing homework or
That's
something.
That's it, yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for taking the time to
You're
have
welcome.
me over and speak to you.
Well, this is a little break.
I know, right? I mean, usually we have wine, but I could have made it more fun, but thank you.
You're welcome.
So it's just at the end of the conclusion of this episode or this sitting down meeting, what any advice you have to maybe moms who are listening, or because we have a whole bunch of listeners that are in school right now, I'm sure they could relate to you.
I just say stay organized, keep yourself organized, have a planner. My planner is my life, and not people think I'm crazy, but I don't use my phone as my planner.
That's
I have an actual planner with a pen and paper.
With the pen and paper.
Well, I use pencil so I can erase.
Beautiful.
But stay organized, stay focused, and with your kids, just be strong and don't give in.
Oh, I
Even
love
if
that.
they bat their eyes like my son does, don't give in.
You're so good, Nora. You're a tough cookie, Nora.
Sometimes. My son gets me with those eyes, though. He's got long lashes.
Oh, what is the secret? Because, I'm considering. Oh, okay.
He just bats them.
You
guys can't see it, but he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to get like extensions.
It doesn't work when you get older. You have to be 6 and cute.
Right.
And he
See, I missed my window then. Darn it. Okay, everyone. So thank you again, Nora, for sitting and talking with me. And I really enjoyed all of your wisdom. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Good night.
Good night.
That's our show, everyone. Thanks for listening to SLP's Wine and Cheese. We have new episodes every week, so be sure to subscribe to the podcast. Also, we'd appreciate it if you would like and review us on iTunes. If you love the show and want more bonus content, check us out at patreon.com/SLP's Wine and Cheese.
Cheers.